This morning we're driving to Melbourne so that my kid can get some hours up in the car. Learners in New South Wales need 120 hours before they can get a license. Ordinarily we take the train. We're on our way to Melbourne so that Emma can attend a science nerd gathering at various universities, which she's very excited for. I'm not invited, so I'm just going to wander about the place and read some books. Okay. I have the microphone because I'm in shared accommodation and so I don't want to be talking loudly. I also want you to hear me. So hello from the floor of a room that I'm sharing with my child. I haven't really seen my child because she's off doing her own thing. So I thought I would talk to you instead. We are in Melbourne because she is doing a program called NYSF, which stands for National Youth Science something. My daughter is a scientician and it's a group of year 12 kids from across the country who did a program at the start of the year together, and now they've come to Melbourne for the week to do some school holiday stuff. That is the extent of my knowledge. It's science nerd shit and that's all I know. So while I'm here in capacity of the adult, she's actually off with all her friends who are 18 anyway, living her best city girl life, so good on her. I say that looking incredibly confident. I am not. I had like anxiety tears in the night because I had to drive in the city. That's why I was literally shaking by the time we got here. But today is another day. I didn't get any sleep, but I have bought books. I wanted to make a reading vlog, but it's really windy outside, so all like the walking and listening to my audiobook thing that I was going to do, it just didn't happen. Let's talk about books. That's why we're here. I am in the process of a couple of books I'm listening to, and what I've been reading today. Why did I do that? Listening is reading. It is historically reading more so than looking at it with your eyes and reading silently. I have been reading Between Two Rivers by... Did I write it down? I would have written it down when I started reading it. Hang on. Moody al-Rashid, Between Two Rivers. The subtitle is something about Mesopotamia. And I'm listening to this because I bought the physical copy because it was beautiful. I don't know if I've pulled it. If I have, I will link that. And the audiobook is read by the author, which initially I thought would be good because you're going to get the pronunciations of things right, or more correct at any rate. But I'm finding it annoying because the cadences of the sentences are not good. And so when you listen to an audiobook, or I find when I listen to an audiobook, I want to have a complete sentence and then a pause for breath. But she takes breaths in the middle of sentences or rushes through a part and then a slight pause and then finishes the sentence. So it feels like it's two different sentences. So that's my, I think, not insignificant criticism. I think it's freaking annoying, but I continue to listen to it. The voice note that I took this morning was essentially along the lines of, I think I need to spend more time with this book because I've been listening to it in real quick snippets, like 15 or 20 minutes. And today I listened to it for an hour and it's definitely grown on me, except that it does have that thing of the authors inserting themselves into the text. She talks about her child's and relating that back to the topic, but I don't care. I don't care about your baby. I don't care about how you came to history. I just want to learn about the history. That's a personal preference, obviously. Not everybody is as cynical and curmudgeonly and dead inside as me. I could not tell you a single thing I learned, to be quite honest, from this book. It's just kind of washing over me. But having spent time with it today, walking around the city, I want to keep going, which is good because I'm at 48%. I just wrote it down. Yeah, I'm at 48%, so that's halfway. It's taken me weeks to get here, but I have many more days here in Melbourne to fill, so I will continue listening. In physical books, I am reading, it's all the way over there. I am reading The Incandescent by Emily Tesh. I haven't filmed a haul for this yet, but you may have seen a haul for it by the time I get this done. This I picked up because last year I read Some Desperate Glory by her for a book club, and I actually DNF'd it at first. It was The Chosen One, young female, blah, 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 and I was bored. And then people in the book club said, keep going, there's a twist. So I kept going, and Tash knocked it out of the park. And I had read short stories by her before, which I loved. Silver in the Wood, I think, is the first one, and there's a sequel that I can't remember what that's called. That was a few years ago. And so when people whose book opinion I respect were hype about this, I thought, oh, give it a go. And I'll give it a go in the initial release paperback that comes in Australia because the font is bigger. I need a bigger font these days. I prefer a bigger book because it's easier to read. At home, didn't bring it with me for this week, but at home I have what's called a book pillow, and it just like sits on the book pillow and I don't have to hold it, which is good for my arthritic hands. Where are we here? I am 46% of the way through this book at page 199, and again last night I spent some quality time with it, although I was like, the anxiety was just making me so distracted I couldn't read more than 2 chapters before I went back to Instagram. That's a me problem. But it hit the point. This is not the principal, but like the deputy, the head of school of a boarding school in England that teaches magic. She's the head of the magic side of the school. And so it's dark academia from the point of the teacher and her observations about being the adult in the situation, and the adult in the, like, the shit went down in magic school and she was the one who was a responsible adult in the situation. Is great. I love it. Her observations on 17-year-olds, where I live with a 17-year-old, is great. I'm finding that quite, if not laugh out loud amusing, then, you know, Rye, I see where you're coming from, amusing. If Tash was not a teacher, then she definitely knows people who are. Anyway, of course, because it's dark academia, magic school, teenagers story, the teenagers decide to summon a demon and it goes wrong, and this is the fallout of what's happening here. We've had the first act where that happens, and then there was a bit of a love interest moment, but the love interest is left now and another guy has come in, and I think he's supposed to be the enemies to lovers, but I don't want him to be. He's smarmy and suave, and she distrusts him, and I think that he will break down her barriers and they will become friendly. He will put the moves on, she will be like, maybe, and then he will betray her, which, if that happens, it will be annoying because it was predictable, but if it doesn't happen, that will be annoying because that's not what I predicted. I'm really starting to get my teeth into it and having fun with it, and so far it's not disappointing. And finally, on my Kindle, I am going on a big Poirot jag at the moment, and so the book that I read I'm currently reading, I actually bought in hard copy. So let's have a little book haul because I went to Dimmicks. Dimmicks here is huge, and yes, it's a chain, it's not an indie bookstore, but there was also shit tons in here. What did I buy? Some fruit leather for my child and an apple for me and some books. I'm just going from this top of this pile, so it'll go from lightest to chunkiest actually. So we have Stanislav Lem, The Star Diaries. Benefactor Luke got into my Instagram DMs and said, read this. So I bought it. He said it was Russian short stories, and I'm into that. Lem is the guy who wrote Solaris. And that's all I know about him. So there's that on my list. I like Russian and Eastern European stuff, it turns out. So give that a go. This is the book that I'm currently reading on Kindle, The Murder of Roger Ackroyd by Agatha Christie. This one is about a guy called Roger Ackroyd, and he was murdered. And they don't know why, they don't know who. I'm about halfway on that one as well. Let me check. 63% on this one. And I'm liking this one because the first two Agatha Christie Poirots that I read were written from the point of view of Poirot's buddy. What was his name? I can't remember. Hastings, Captain Hastings. And Hastings talking about, like, it's Hastings' POV, talking about how Poirot is solving the mystery. This one is not Hastings, because Hastings has gone off to Argentina. This one is a doctor from the town where Poirot is currently living. And his name is Dr. Shepherd. James Shepherd lives with his sister, who is the village gossip, which is coming in handy for Poirot. And so he's not always with Poirot. Like, they're not besties. He's not just hanging on and thinking he's helping solve the case. He's doing his own thing. And then Poirot is his next door neighbour, so they meet up sometimes and discuss the case. And he's observing what Poirot is doing from that POV. So that's a lot more interesting, I think. I don't know who killed Roger Ackroyd. I have a theory, but I'm really enjoying just reading these for what they are, not thinking about it too much, not trying to solve the murder based on the clues that we have been given as a reader, because Poirot can see all. It's just a really good time, and I'm enjoying that. So what has happened here? Roger Ackroyd was killed. His stepson is the prime suspect, so obviously it's not the stepson. And his sister-in-law is looking pretty sus, but I think it's the daughter-in-law. No, the sister-in-law's daughter. So who is that to? Niece. Ackroyd's niece. I think that it's her. I will find out in due course. So I bought that. And then I bought The Murder on the Links, which is the Poirot before Ackroyd. I finished this one. This one is about a guy who's found dead on the golf course next to his home. Another Poirot, this one's called The Big Four. Looks like it has chess themes. And this one is the next one after Ackroyd. I bought a new bookmark because I like the paper blanks. And they had them. I bought Susanna Clarke's The Ladies of Grace et Dieu because I like Susanna Clarke's other stuff and I haven't read this. This is a short story collection. The cover's pretty. It's like that matte cardboard stuff that I like. It's exciting. I love Jonathan Strange and Dr. Norrell. The book of hers that I just read, something about midwinter, is also in this world. So, grabbed it. Oh, I don't know if I should have got this one or not. Hang on. It's heavy. One of my book clubs is doing a big book challenge for the second half of the year, and big book, I think, originally started out as being defined as over 500 pages, which is a normal book for me and my fantasy proclivities. But this one does it say? This is paginated backwards. That's wild. The first page number is 965. And that's the prologue. That's cool. Anyway, it's called The Books of Jacob by Olga Tokarczuk, translated by Jennifer Croft. It's definitely like her opus, people call it, because it is so big. And inside it actually says, this is hard one-handed. It says, The Books of Jacob, or A Fantastic Journey Across 7 Borders, 5 Languages and 3 Major Religions, not counting the minor sects, told by the dead, supplemented by the author, drawing from a range of books and aided by imagination, the which being the greatest natural gift of any person that the wise might have it, for a record that my compatriots reflect, lay persons gain some understanding, and melancholy souls obtain some slight enjoyment, which is a typical title of the early modern period. Olga Tokarczuk has a book coming out this year, which is so exciting, in the short story veins of Flights. I will link my Flights review. So this starts, the Book of Fog, and then the pages count down. The Book of Sand, the Book of the Road, the Book of the Comet. All right, I'm not regretting buying this now. The Book of Metal and Sulphur, the Book of the Distant Country, and the Book of Names. I think this as an object in itself is part of the experience of this story. Anyway, I have it on Kindle, so that's how I'm going to read it, I think. But I'm going to try this for my Big Book Challenge, and I bought the physical version of it at $40 because she is a chonker, to encourage me to actually read this thing, and hopefully before the next Chocolate book comes out, which is September. It's currently the start of July, so we got time. So that has been 22 minutes of me blurbing into this microphone. I'm going to read some book now. I'm going to turn on a light and keep going with the Tesh, because that's my daytime book. And I will check back in with you probably tomorrow. I think it's going to rain now, and I'm just going to cozy up as best I can in this uncomfortable room and read. Hello, I am now on the bed, no microphone, the lamp is next to me. I just want to say I just looked at Instagram and YouTube for like an hour instead of picking up my book, but here we are. I have my hot water bottle behind me because my back hurts. She old. I also have a snack. The Woolies near here is for rich people, and it has a pre-cut apple with almond butter, which I have no idea how much it costs. I didn't look. I am gonna eat that and read this. If I turn sideways, then the light's not so bad, although then I'm getting double chin action. Well, I'm still here in my little cell by choice, obviously. Like, I could go out on the town, and I have been out on the town, but also it's nice to just not. I'm nearly finished. I think there's 100 pages left, which I probably won't get to today because of reason involving fatigue. The guy that turned up, I don't like him. I'm not supposed to like him. He's just a charming, smug bastard. And our POV character, well, our main character, is sleeping with him, and I hate it. Thank you. And I think we're supposed to hate it. She kind of hates it too. But I'm hoping he's not like the bad guy in terms of is like the underlying cause of the problems that are happening. Don't want to give too many spoilers, but yeah, I don't know if he's just like the smug red herring, and she'll ditch him when she realizes that she really does want to make a go of the relationship that she was tentatively beginning at the beginning of the book, or if it's one of those books that's like, well, this is real life and the choices we make have consequences, and you don't always get a backseat and try again. So we will see. Otherwise, I'm having a great time by, having read a whole quarter of the book this afternoon. I never do that. Usually I would just go for a walk and occupy myself that way. I'm thinking I might treat myself to a cup of tea, because that's how wild I am on a Tuesday night. Good morning. This is my bed hair, which is not so different from my usual hair. That's nice for me, isn't it? I have been reading a bit more of this morning, and it has got to the part where the smug, smarmy guy is very likely the bad guy, and our main character, Dr. Walden, has just had that sinking feeling of, oh shit, I have done a terrible, terrible thing. Not just by sleeping with him, but by giving him access to do the bad things. And the sleeping with her is just getting the necessary access. Thanks, I hate it. Also saw it coming. And then the part where the chapter ends with, it was here at this moment, safe in my office, when I didn't immediately make the call or send the email. It was when she could pinpoint the moment she made the exact worst decision of her life. So there's not much left to go, and she will resolve it in the end. She better fix it in the end, or I will be mad. But first I have to have a shower and go and find a croissant for breakfast. I found a croissant which was pretty subpar, and then I went and tried on everything in Maya. I was looking for a denim skirt. Oh, I like this cardigan, but I didn't buy it in the end. I was looking for a denim skirt, so I tried on every single denim skirt in the store. This one, I liked the length, but it was a size too small, and the mermaid fishtail thing's not appropriate for work, which is why I wanted the skirt. I was looking for tops too. I don't have any tops anymore. I like this skirt, but it was too long. So I tried on some jeans. I hate jeans after having a hysterectomy. I hate the way things feel against my body there. This was like too tight at the front, too loose at the back, and generally, no thank you. And then I tried this skirt, which was the perfect length, but they didn't have it in my size. This is one size too high. So again, I didn't end up buying anything. Oh, and no pockets. What the hell? Also tried on a shirt, but again, can't find a shirt that I like to save myself, so I bought nothing. Morning. I have been a terrible vlogger, and that's mainly because, well, one, I'm tired, but also two, I hate vlogging on my phone. The sound quality is really bad, and the microphones in public are not the one. In fact, somebody is walking here right now. I finished the incandescent, and that was great. Like, the guy that I thought was the bad guy became irrelevant, and so, like, that didn't really get tied up at all, that storyline. Well, it did, but, you know, it just kind of got forgot. Well, the actual bad guy came to prominence and then had to be defeated, and then there was the little romancy bit at the end, and it was all very lovely and sweet, and clearly written by a teacher. It says in the acknowledgements that Tash is a teacher. So enjoyed it. It was a slow build up. You didn't know where it, like, you suspected where it was going to go, but when the penny dropped, I was like, oh. So there was that. And then this morning I finished The Murder of Roger Ackroyd by Agatha Christie. Now, last night I had to turn off my book. I was just so tired, I couldn't keep going. I was at 95%, and it was literally the scene where Poirot had gathered all the suspects in his drawing room and said, one of you did it, please confess, or I'm going to the cops tomorrow. So this morning I read the end, and the plot twist, oh my god, I'm not going to spoil that. I knew it was a twist because something I read, or even the blurb, says, you know, the ending had shocked readers when it was published in 1926 or whatever, and I was fully shook, and it was great, so highly recommend. It's currently 9:30 in the morning and I have not yet eaten or had coffee. I'm starving and on the hunt for food. All right, let's keep talking while I'm looking for food. I've been walking a lot. I've been walking into the city, which takes about 40 minutes, half an hour, and listening to my book while I've been doing that, Between Two Rivers. It has grown on me. I just needed to spend some time with it. The narration, I'm living with it, but I'm definitely learning things about ancient Mesopotamia. There was a chapter on education and a chapter on the current ones about medicine and what we can glean from medical records from the time slavery was mentioned last night when I went out for dinner. So that is an incongruous sentence, isn't it? This is Elizabeth Street. No, Royal Parade in Melbourne. That's the University of Melbourne, by the way. But it's a pretty backdrop. So, like I said, it's growing on me, and I'm over halfway now, so I'm going to keep going. In fact, I would be listening to that if I wasn't talking to you. So I'll probably just go do that now, and I will check in with you once I'm caffeinated. I'm packing up the car, but we're on the microphone again because this road behind me is very busy and very loud, and honestly, that's the road I have to get on to leave this place, and I'm shit scared. Oh, I just discovered the edge of the parcel thing in my car is magnetic. That's cool. I could stick you there and you won't fall. That's even better. I wanted to show you while I'm packing up the car. I'm packing up 3 people's worth of stuff, so that's multiple trips. But I did buy some more books. So I may as well just show you to end the vlog. It's a whole new day actually. I should have said that. Yesterday I had an incident with the transport cops, and it is my fault. It was so busy and I squished into the tram with everybody else, and I tapped my phone with my Mikey. Of course, it didn't read, but I didn't look because I tapped and kept being shoved in the tram because it was so busy. And then the cops got on and checked my ticket and it hadn't read. And so then they gave me the piece of paper that said, please wait 1 to 2 months to see if you're going to get a fine. The fine is $300. The fare is $5.50. So I didn't feel like talking to people after that. I needed some time to process that emotion. I can't afford the fine. It technically was my fault. It doesn't mean that I'm not sad and mad, you know? So there's that. So I didn't want to talk to people, but now I can tell you about books. So yesterday I bought the book At War. I saw this in hardcover the day before, and I thought, I'm not buying that in hardcover because it was $50 and paperbacks always come out if it's not, a strictly scholarly work. So then I went to Dimmicks and they had it in paperback. They only have this one copy that has a tiny bit of damage on the spine. And so eventually I went and asked somebody if they had a non-damaged copy, and this was the last one, and they could do it for 10% off, and I wanted it. And I had to put it back on the shelf, and when I had put it back on the shelf with the row of spines, the damage actually didn't look that bad. I could barely tell. So, it looks like I've read it already. So, anyway, I'm excited for that. I read another book by this guy and somebody else about the history of libraries. And so this one is the history of books at war. There's helicopters flying about. I don't like helicopters because of the Brotherhood of Steel. If you know, you know. That is being picked up. I hate them. That helicopter's coming right over me. On the plus side, it's not actually the Brotherhood of Steel, and I'm not actually about to be murdered. It's literally hovering right above me. If this was Fallout 4, then the super mutants would be shooting mini nukes at the vertibird, and it would come down, crashing down. Oh no, there's people behind me. Let's go real quick. I'm just going to wait till these people do what they're doing. Hang on. Last night I went with Emma and some of her friends from this science thing that she's been going to, who are also staying in the same accommodation. We all went out for food in Carlton, which is the suburb next to the University of Melbourne. And of course it's known for its food. And also my favourite part is the bookstore. Readings there is open till late. So after dinner we went book shopping and I bought this, Terry Eagleton's Materialism. I've read a few Eagletons now. They're really good at, the professor's jokey serious take on important things to learn. This one says, Terry Eagleton shows how materialism is at the centre of today's important scientific, cultural and philosophical debates. I'm intending to read lots more Eagleton. They also had, in most bookstores actually, his literary criticism one. And I can't remember what it's called, but basically it's an overview of literary critics and how they shaped the way that we think about literature today, which would be great for somebody doing an English degree like I would like to be. Instead, I have 2 jobs. So that's my book haul. I am going to continue bringing stuff out to the car and then go in search of coffee. Thought I just wandered through the campus today, but of course people are about. Of course everybody's filming and taking photos. So it's cringe and also not super cringe. But it is pretty here. You'd want it to be for the amount of money it costs to live here and come and study here, I suppose. I wanted to talk to you about the book that I am listening to, Between Two Rivers. I'm still not vibing with it. I I couldn't tell you a single thing that I've gleaned from this book, and I don't know if that's me and just like my heightened anxiety this week, because it has been a thing. But also, it might just be the book. You might just need more of a physical read to actually digest what I'm being told. But I don't want to diss the book. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. It's just audio isn't working for me. And also, I think the only thing that I've really picked up from this book is just the immense amount of extant historical record that we have from this time that shows the development of writing, the development of language, the development of maths and accounting, and it's just wild and cool. And so even though I haven't picked up any details, I can see we have all this stuff about education and slavery and law and medicine, and it's just fascinating in that way. So I couldn't pick out an anecdote for you, but I could tell you I'm very impressed. Just walking past another coffee shop. I don't know if I should keep walking to the one where I found the coffee that's actually good. You'd think for someone that claims to be the coffee capital of the world, you could find a good coffee, but I guess I'm spoiled in my little country town. Or if I keep walking to the cafe where I know the coffee's good, even though the pastries were made. It's a dilemma. So it is my thought on the book. I'm not finished. I think I'm at 85% now. So that's what I was going to listen to while I walked down the street and then started talking to you. But I wouldn't dismiss it out of hand. It's more of a me problem than the book problem. Which happens. It happens. I ended up finding good coffee. I walked past a coffee shop on the campus that had a massive queue, and so I got in the queue. I asked for an extra shot and it was an adequate strength. It was delicious. They also had pastry, so I grabbed a morning bun. I was a bit worried this was just cinnamon and sugar, but it turned out to be sticky cardamom. And look at this pull apart. Oh, it was so good. I'm having dreams about it. And of course, this is the last thing I filmed in morning, is this happy moment with my coffee and my pastry and my book, which I haven't shown you here. And I will see you in another video. Bye.